Hi, it's James here. Welcome to another Squeeze Fan TV video. And today we're going to look at a great song called Rose I Said, which came from the band's 1989 album Frank. Here's my original copy, bought from Wrexham in 1989. Rose I Said is a song that I've always loved. I heard them do it live at Lancaster University at the Great Hall in October of 1989, and I can just remember the audience going mad. And it's strange because it was a brand new song at the time. Nobody would have known it. I mean, the album was out. It had been out for a couple of months, but it was a brand new song. You know, you don't usually think of audiences going mad to new songs, but everybody was just jumping up and down to the chorus. And it's an astonishing song because it packs in so many lyrics. In Song by Song, Chris actually says, it was one of the strongest lyrics I had written for a while. I wrote a load of lyrics at this point that were long stories. It must have been awful for Glenn to try to put them into a 3-minute song. And what's a bit sort of sad about this actually is that Glenn himself is quite dismissive of the song, and this is often the case with Squeeze songs. I mean, there's over and over again in this book, you know, you look at your favourite songs and you realise that either one or the other of Difford and Tilbrook, you know, we're not very impressed. And Glenn says about this, every now and then I try and write a song that's really straightforward, and this is one of those. This falls into the same category as If It's Love, in that I like the song and the performance of it, which is very spirited, but it doesn't distinguish itself in any way. Actually, I'm wrong. He actually does say that he likes it, but also that it doesn't distinguish itself in any way. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I guess he just means that, you know, it's a good song, but maybe it doesn't lift itself up above lots of other songs from this period. I mean, he might be right. It's not a song which has survived into the band's set lists. It's still very much a deep cut. Obviously, you know, part of the reason for that was that Frank was such a monumental chart flop, really, and none of the singles charted, and you know, the songs have not survived into the Squeeze set list, really, which is a shame because there's, you know, some great material on that record. But Rose I Said has a very distinctive opening guitar line, a very good Tilbrook guitar hook, and then it barrels into this very fast song with this great uplifting chorus. And then there's a great last verse where you can hear the sound of people sort of partying in the background, or sort of having a dinner party. You can hear all this conversation and knives and forks chinking and, you know, that kind of thing. It's almost like a sort of Pink Floyd type of thing, just strange things happening in the background. Squeeze didn't do that very often. But the story of Rose I Said, when you get into the lyrics, it's such a tight little story. It's Chris returning back to his kitchen sink days, really. You know, think of Stan Barstow or, you know, those 1950s kitchen sink dramatists. It starts out in the bedroom with him basically, it's like Chris in the Doghouse theme again, you know, from Cold Shoulder and all those songs where the girl is basically, you know, throwing things at him. Yes, I cried the moment that her hand slapped my face. A mouthful of sandwich went all over the place. She left like a tornado. The door, of course, slammed. I stood in the kitchen, a very confused man. The thump of her footsteps went right up the stairs. The cat ran for cover to the living room chairs. But what was the problem? What on earth could be wrong? To deserve a slapped face all seemed far too strong. So what I take from the lyrics of this song is that the girl he's with in the bedroom is not Rose. It's his wife or his partner. And Rose is the girl who he's having a bit of a ding-dong with. You know, he sings, Rose was the girl who some days I'd drive to work. She worked in the office as an article clerk. Sometimes we had lunch in the pub along the street. There was nothing between us, just good company. I admit that I liked her, but that's all that it was. I stood at the bedside in a state of shock. She heard it different from a friend she met today, who says she saw us kissing down an alleyway. So the she that he refers to there is not Rose. I think she is his wife. And then he sings, I felt like two people, a Jekyll and a Hyde. I'd really made my bed to lay in this time. So the idea is that he's kind of saying to his wife that there's nothing between us, and there was nothing between us, just good company. But it's just a total lie. In fact, he's been seen kissing this girl, Rose, by a friend, and that's why, you know, his wife has found out and is now hurling things at him in the bedroom. It's just wonderful, just that level of detail that he goes into, you know. I picked with my tongue at the bread stuck in my teeth. What a line. And then I left with my head bowed, I felt the curtain drop. Rose stood in the wings, looking pretty in a frock. That's a very Chris Difford kind of lyric, really. He was quite fond of writing lyrics that had stage metaphors, you know, the idea of actors on the stage, and this idea of Rose waiting in the wings is it's a sort of trope really that you get in country music records or old records, you know, blues or country records. They often talked in terms of actors on the stage. It's almost Shakespearean in a way as well. And then just this great chorus with this repeating refrain, Rose, I said, heaven knows what we've done, water flows under the bridge, heaven knows is this love, curtains close back to read the script, heaven knows what we've done. It's a song full of regret and violence, you know, domestic squabble. I don't think it's got a happy ending, and but it's got this very uplifting, fast kind of feel to it. Great drums from Gilson Lavis. He does this really interesting drum pattern. It's not a standard pop rock drum pattern. There's an extra snare beat in there. It's very propulsive. It's very energetic. Great bass playing from Keith Wilkinson, and just a great sound as well. Like everything on this album has a very crisp live kind of sound. Just really tremendous sounding, really. What a shame that the song has not survived. I don't think it would go down well these days. You know, I saw Squeeze play at a festival a couple of weekends ago, and as usual it was all the hits. I was trying to imagine what would have happened if they dropped in a song like Rose I Said. You know, I just don't think that would be a very good idea. Having said that, who knows? You know, they do occasionally drop us a bombshell, don't they? So we'll have to see. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think of Rose I Said. Great Squeeze classic, I think. And I'll see you in the next video.